Hi and welcome to the Stabaek season preview for 2020. Eliteserien, brought to you by the Nordic Football Podcast. I'm Steve Wiss, and let's delve into this club who are from the western side of Oslo. And last season they finished 8th. They had a manager takeover mid-season, Jan Jonsson, who actually won the title with this club back in 2008. He's been around the block since then, but he came back, really steadied the ship, and they finished red hot, did Stabaek. We had some really good results in the back half of 2019. Big rival with Vålerenga in the city there of Oslo, west against east, and they play each other fairly soon. We'll have a look at the fixtures. The Nordic is a bit of an old relic, really. It's to put it simply, it's a bit of a shithole. But it's not the easiest place for teams to visit. The crowd can sometimes get a bit boisterous. Probably the biggest challenge of the stadium is that it's a grass pitch, and sort of November, December time, it can get a bit, really torn up and crap, and it's difficult for teams to adjust to it. It doesn't always necessarily favour Stabaek either, though, because they've got a lot of good technical players. They've got a great youth academy here. Some good players always break through. I'm predicting them 10th, but they are one of the hardest sides, if not the hardest, to predict in the entire league. It could go either way. So yeah, Stabaek then, it's a club from Oslo, western side of Oslo, as we go down into the Nadderud Stadion. It's a bit of an interesting one, as you see there, a bit of a sort of a running track around the pitch. You can't even really see the stands, can you? It's a bit of a a bit of an old relic, really, but there you go. It has a great character to it, and the Stabaek fans are usually quite noisy there. So let's move on to their fixtures then. I did mention that Vålerenga game comes very early, round 2 on Sunday the 21st, and that's going to be a spicy fixture, isn't it? No doubt about it. But they start with 2 out of 3 of their first games are really easy. Mjøndalen home and Sandefjord home. They could be definitely picking up 6 points from those. So well worth looking at some of their players early doors. Question of who. After that, things get a bit trickier though. Mulder away, Rosenborg at home. Strømsgodset at home might not be as simple as it looks either. So a mixed bag of fixtures for Stabaek, and we're going to go and have a look at their players now in the fantasy arena. And they've got a really good goalkeeper. Sandberg was the top scoring keeper last year, and that's why he's priced at 6 million. Now, he saved a few penalties. They got on a run of really clean sheets, and you can kind of see why. The formation's 4-1-4-1, and that can be such a difficult sort of system to break down. And Jonsson will definitely adapt as well. He's not just a rigid set in stone man, but that sort of system, if you employ it in a defensive style and you use discipline, it can be hard to break down. I've got a rock at the back. Mankwa is a real physical beast. But he's probably the one guy I would say is going to sort of be more regular to start. Could be worth looking at. Hans Olsen as well. But they are quite highly priced for centre-backs, I must say. That's the concern there. No one else really catches my eye too much. Jonathan at left-back, maybe if he gets minutes, could be cheap. I think in attack, this is where the question marks are. Azimi, I like Azimi when he's fit, but he's often on the treatment table and unreliable. I even heard rumours that he might already leave the club on a loan, even though he's just a new signing in the winter. Kinoshita could lead the line for Stabaek, and I've not seen that much of this player, but 6 million could look very cheap. If he gets going, so there's some potential there. They've got guys like Vettelsen and Edvarsen maybe on the right hand side of midfield who could do well, but Bahinen looks like he's going to leave the club, but I don't necessarily think he would score that many points anyway, because he's going to be he would play more defensive midfield. It's just a question of who's going to end up getting the points for them. Cornelius Norman Hansen could be a player to look at, who's transferred from Southampton. This is the problem that, who do you pick in? Roman Gall is coming from Malmo on loan. An excellent player who could adapt. I would love to get some Stabaek players into the team. I'll be very interested to see who is starting for them ahead of Mjøndalen. It might be a very last-minute decision. I see who's in that starting 11. Who do I fancy to go well in that first game? And I might just stick with them. Maybe Kinoshita, maybe one of the midfielders. But yeah, keep your eye on this team. They do have a softish sort of start. 2 out of the first 3. But apart from that, really hard to predict, and could be very wildly inconsistent, but they've got potential for good football. Anyway, that's all we've got time for in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, would greatly appreciate any likes, any subscribes to the channel. Hit those buttons, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time for some more Eliteserien team guides.